Okay, so I am Bunnell, and my project is working on prehistoric zombies, or resurrecting or recreating extinct species. So, how many of my juvenile-minded kin would like to see one of these little cute guys in your window, staring at you? That's a question, raise your hand. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Well, yeah, that was pretty simple, but for me, I would kind of hate to see something like that staring at me. That would be kind of terrifying, and yeah, that would be scary. Okay, so the real question is, do we have a reason for doing this? Do we have a reason for creating dinosaurs, and is it advantageous to do so? So the kind of question is this even possible? Can we recreate these dinosaurs or other extinct species like a mammoth or anything like that? The question is yes and no. There's a little rift between that. Jurassic Park, famous blockbuster, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. They make it as easy as finding a purpose for the annoyance of mosquitoes and turning it into something like that. Sorry, that can't be done. DNA is not intact, and so you cannot take the DNA out of a mosquito and make a dinosaur. It's heartbroken. My dreams were torn from this moment in my life. But wait, there's hope. Don't worry. If you ever get bored, look up kids that are excited. It's hilarious. So yes, there is hope. So, sigh of relief. There is other ways of creating a dinosaur-like species. So there's two ways that we'll delve into with this. First, we can create dinosaurs we can create animals that look like dinosaurs, genetically modifying chickens or birds into creating a dinosaur-looking creature. I don't know how to explain it. It looks really weird looking. It's one of the areas that scientists have been delving into, and they've actually created something to look like this. No, sorry, it looks more like that actually, but you can see the three claws, the beak has teeth, and there's a tail actually, and that's just going in with the genetics of a chicken and modifying it to make it look something more appealing to what dinosaurs look like based on their previous prehistoric genotypes that they had, since dinosaurs are just known as modern, or birds are just known as modern dinosaurs. So that's one of the things. The other area is we can clone extinct animals, taking DNA from species that we have that are intact. So this is dealing with species such as Pyrenean ibex, Tasmanian tiger, Irish elk, Chinese dolphin, mammoth, saber-toothed tiger, Neanderthal, Sydney sloth, and KFC investments. Okay, so you can already see some of the great advantages to this. There are some questions being taken as, is it playing God? And a lot of those come from the Catholic Church, who says, oh, God, this should not be creating animals. We should not be bringing back something that's already, that's extinct. However, the prospect of testifying against God was counteracted by Archer, who states, I think we played God when we exterminated these animals. For example, because some of these animals up here, these are just a few of the animals that we caused to go extinct, such as the Chinese river dolphin, which was caused by pollution. That was that dolphin on the other page. The Arabian horse, or Bakuda, that was done by poaching, and the gastro-brooding frogs, which are human-spread pathogen, stuff like that. And also, even mammoths were caused by hunting and killing off. Stuart Brand is a famous National Geographic writer, and his always question is, playing God or not when we are creating these animals or species? And he says, we're not playing God, we're coming to terms with our own powers as well as the unexpected results to our actions. So, basically, we're not playing God, we're just trying to recreate something that we have caused to go extinct due to our own existence. The same guy, Michael Archer, says that it is actually our obligation to create these animals because, well, we killed them all. And so he wants to kind of undo what we did back then. So there are many positive outcomes coming from this. We're going to go into that. Okay, so restoring ecology of some areas. A great example is Siberia. Siberia is known for its barren of life, snowy, just completely, isolated tundra type. Back then, actually, in the Pleistocene era, you can see there's grass, a lot more abundance of life. There's mammoths, deer, and so based on that, a guy named Sergei Asimov, a Russian scientist, also who serves as the director of Northeast Science Station. He's one of the founders of he's trying to create that back to that Pleistocene Park time when you saw the grass and things like that. By doing so, he believes that the mammoths, which went extinct there, he believes that when they walked around and trampled up that moss, the grass was able to grow, and since I was insulated, the land wasn't so snowy and more life was able to be sustained there. So he's trying to create that, and he's already proven that if we trampled up the moss, because the moss has taken over the area and caused that snow to come over it, he says if we trampled that grass in 1 to 2 years, we could have that grass again that keeps that life, and it would be a more productive area of land and more not so void of life, such as Siberia today. But, of course, we need to bring back that keystone species, such as the mammoth, in order to trample that grass so we can get back the ecology of Siberia. Other things are keeping the biology and the diversity of some species. So looking back on the Siberia thing, when we lost the grass due to the loss of mammoths, we could have lost thousands of medical plants that we never knew about. And a lot of these medical plants could be treating some diseases that we don't even know. And keeping these keystone species, it's all in a circle. If we don't keep these keystone species, we can tend to lose some of the important species, such as plants. And these are some of the plants that are going extinct today because of other things like deforestation and also loss of stuff. Losing those keystone species can cause a big deal. Better understanding of biology and evolution. When you're looking at creating these, when you create these animals, you're not only you're kind of delving deeper into the DNA and genetics of some of these animals, and you learn how the genetics can tend to help us in a way, and we can learn what caused these animals to go extinct in the first place. So we can avoid going into that same thing that they did, and we can also, in turns, we can also help other animals that have that are suffering because of their genes, they cannot have a high population in life. So, for example, the Tasmanian devil suffers a high chance of getting cancer on its face, and that's that. He's kind of cute, and then stuff happens. Yeah. So they're actually looking at genetically saving these creatures, and I think that if we brought back these other species, we understand genetics more, and we can maybe help this guy out. The other one is the panda, which only has one chance a year to actually conceive or have a baby, basically. So that's why their population is so low, is because they're giving so much of a, it's hard to get a population for them. So helping these guys out is a good thing. So yeah, there's a lot of great things coming out of this idea. But other guys, George Monbiot, an English writer known for his environmental and political activism, he says that there are other means of restoring lost ecosystems thousands of times easier than de-extinction, which could begin almost immediately. He discusses that by simply worrying about the already endangered species, we don't need to waste resources on such ideas. And others worry about the same deal as, will the money be taken from conservation work, and will we just be creating new species and forget about the endangered species? If ecology will actually improve from this because of the fact that people realize that, well, now that they can just fix our problems, do we really have to worry about environment and stuff like that? What's her name? Hold on. Ryan Fellon, she is the executive director of Revive and Restore, and a reaction to this question is that there shouldn't be an either-or question upon resurrecting these animals, but she insists that the conservationists work with them as well to restore ecology so that both extinct animals and endangered animals can revitalize population. She replies to the question discussing the money that can be taken from the conservation groups. My knee-jerk reaction to this simply is that it should not be either or, but that it should be an and question, Fellon says. I don't think there's a certain amount of dollars that can only be spent for helping animals on the brink. I think that these things are additive, and that the challenge is ensuring that conservationists and others that are involved in the wildlife are aware of these technologies and can move in directions where they can apply them. So she's arguing that there needs to be work to help on the endangered species, and they can give you knowledge to help these endangered species. And she's also arguing that we can also help extinct species that will help maybe improve the ecology of these endangered species. So we do see some great things coming from this. The problem with it is we also are worried because we don't know much about these species and how they will react in our environment. We don't know if they'll even survive. So my opinion, or my proposal, is that we can keep on going through with science and going above and beyond, learning the genetics and improving our science and technology from this. But we need to accumulate more knowledge on these accumulate more knowledge on these keystone species that we think about bringing back. And so, yeah, that's my proposal, is to accumulate more knowledge so we can understand these species better in the environment and not have to worry so much about, was it a waste of resources, or will it even help?